Very good morning, students. Today we will be studying another new chapter of English grammar. The name of the topic is Verbs of Incomplete Prediction. It is chapter number 14. Okay, so children, in order to know this new topic, verbs of incomplete prediction, verbs which kind of have incomplete meaning and which need the help of some other verbs, some other words, and this new topic can be best understood if we revise a few topics that we have covered in the past. Okay, so this is the revision that we will be covering a bit, and the revision is related to the chapter of transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay children, let's study this example. A verb which has one or more objects is a transitive verb. Children, you all understand the meaning of verb? Verb over here, a verb is an action word, right children? And every action word may be getting conducted on someone or something. So that someone on whom the action is being performed, or that something on whom the action is being performed is called the object. Okay, so sometimes a verb which has one object and sometimes it has two objects. You remember, one is a direct object and one is an indirect object. We will be getting examples. So when a verb has one or more objects, it is a transitive verb. And when it doesn't have an object, it is an intransitive verb. It's very simple, okay children? So for example, the girl is the subject over here. Picked. Picked is an action. Action is a verb. Okay, so picked. What? Picked what? What is the action getting performed on? The flower. So the flower is the object. How many objects are there? One object. So that is why, because it has an object, this verb is a transitive verb. Whenever there will be an object, the verb will be a transitive verb. Simple children? The girl picked what? Answer, flower. Okay? So as flower refers to something that is different and distinct from the girl. Okay, flower is definitely not the girl and the girl is definitely not the flower. They are two different identity things, right? So when they are two, if suppose there would have been a word which is related to the girl, then that wouldn't be the object, children. Okay, that would be related to the girl. So we won't consider it as an object. Flower is definitely something new. It's not related to the girl. So that is why we are accepting it as an object. We take it as an object. Okay children? So the verb picked is transitive because it has an object, flower. Simple children, you all have recollected what was transitive verbs, right? Second example. The letter brought us good news. Okay children? So the letter brought what? The letter being the subject, okay, it has brought something. So brought is the verb. What has it brought? Good news. So whenever children you all get an answer to the word what did it get? Okay, so when you get that answer, then that is an object. So news, good news is the object. So the letter brought whom good news? Us. So there are two objects over here children. When you get the second answer to the question whom, then that is an indirect object. So direct and indirect objects can be two types of objects. We did not have the two types of objects in the first example. But in this example, we are getting the answer to both the questions, what and whom. Whenever you are confused, ask the two questions to the verb. What was brought? Whom was it brought for? So when you get both the answers children, then you have both direct and indirect object. So the direct object will be the answer to the question what, and the indirect object will be the answer to the question whom. So us will become the indirect object. Clear children? We have covered right now the revision of transitive verb. Okay, transitive verb having object, indirect or direct, right? The answer to what gives us the direct object, the answer to whom gives us the indirect object. So a transitive verb may have more than one object. In this case, it has two objects. Okay children? Very simple children. Transitive verbs, whenever there is an object. Now let's see. However, when a reflexive pronoun. Now children, this also we have covered. What is a reflexive pronoun children? Himself, themselves, yourselves, the self. Wherever self is attached with the pronoun, it is a reflexive pronoun. Very easy. Just look for self. Wherever self is there, themselves, herself, yourself, ourselves. Okay, so in that case, it is a reflexive pronoun. Okay, now we have revised reflexive pronoun. When a reflexive pronoun is the object of a verb, okay, over here we are looking for objects, right, of the verb. So when the object is a reflexive pronoun, what is the criteria then? The subject and object refer to the same person or thing. The subject and the object refer to the same thing. For example, Harsh hurt himself while playing football. Harsh hurt what? Harsh hurt whom? Himself. So in this case, children, the subject and object is the same person. Harsh is hurting himself only. Okay, so whenever a reflexive pronoun is used in the sentence, children, the subject and the object will be same. Okay, so in that case, the object of the verb hurt is himself, which refers to Harsh, the subject. So in that case, note that instead of saying that the verb hurt is transitive, we say that it has been used reflexively or a reflexive verb. We will not say that it is a transitive verb. The verb hurt, Harsh hurt. Hurt is not a transitive verb. Why? Because it is not something new, children. Over here in the previous example, children, the letter brought good news. Okay, the previous example, picked flower. Flower and girl were different. But children, over here in this example, himself is whom? Harsh. Harsh is what? Himself. So it is one and the same person. Right, children? So we will say that it is a reflexive verb, or we will say that the verb has been used reflexively. Okay, two different things we have learned. Transitive verb, reflexive verb, or verb used reflexively. Okay, let's see the next example. A verb which does not have an object is an intransitive verb. This is the third type. Okay, children, intransitive verb, where there is no object. How can there be a sentence with no object? Let's see. Hari slept. Is it making sense? Hari slept. That is complete sense. There is nothing else required. And there is no object also. We have a subject, we have a verb. Hari is the subject, slept is the verb, and it is making complete sense. So it is an intransitive verb. Why? Because the verb is having no object. Hari slept what, whom? No answer. Okay? In the sentence, the verb slept is intransitive because it has no object. I hope, children, you've understood. When there is an object, it is a transitive verb. When the action is not being passed to any object, intransitive verb. And suppose the action is being passed to the thing which is the subject itself, the reflexive pronoun, then it is a reflexive verb. Okay. Tansen was a great musician. Okay, Tansen was what? Musician. But musician refers to Tansen himself. The subject of the verb was, it does not refer to something or someone different or distinct from the subject. Okay, so that is quite clear. The musician they are talking about is Tansen himself, right? They are not telling about a new entity, a new thing. It is not telling about the girl and the flower. It is telling about Tansen, who is a musician. So the musician is being related to back to Tansen. So we are not getting a new idea over here. Tansen was a great musician. Who was the musician? Tansen himself. They are not talking about some other musician also. So here the object is not something new. So in that case, children, the musician refers to himself. The subject of the verb was. It does not refer to somebody or something different. That's why it is intransitive, children. Okay? Therefore, musician is not the object. We will not accept musician as the object because musician is the same thing as the subject. Okay? The verb was in this sentence has no object and is an intransitive verb. Okay, so now our revision is done. Our revision had transitive, reflexive verb and intransitive verb. Now, related to these, we are going to study verbs of incomplete prediction, which is our new topic. Okay, children? So, children, the new topic of ours, verbs of incomplete prediction. For this, we'll have to study a few examples. Okay, the first example, Tansen sang. Okay, let's study this example. The verb sang is intransitive. Why? Because the action sang is not being passed to an object. Okay, so there is no object, intransitive. But what it says about its subject, It is, who is the subject? Tansen. It is telling us something about the subject, okay, which makes complete sense. No other word is needed to make the sense complete. Okay, so in this case, the sang of Tansen, the Tansen sang is making complete sense. We do not require any other word. Right, children? Similarly, in the next example, okay, the next example is the man appears sad. Okay, the verb appears is intransitive. So over here, children, appears, the action of appears is not passing to any object. The man appears sad. Okay, so the man is the subject, appears is the verb, but then the action is not passing to any object. But what it says about its subject, the man, does not make complete sense if we omit the word sad. For example, let's go back, children. Tansen sang, making complete sense. It does not require the help of any other word. Okay, it does not have an object, it does not require any other word. So it is an intransitive verb. Okay, but over here, children, the man appears. The man is the subject, appears is the verb, and it requires the existence of this word sad. Suppose I say the man appears. Does it make sense? No. The man appears does not have an object also. But if we say the man appears sad, now it is making sense. Right, children? So, it does not make complete sense if we remove. Omit means remove the word sad. So, the man appears what? The word sad is needed to make the complete sense. Okay? Likewise, in the next example, children, Alexander was a great conqueror. Okay, Alexander is the subject, was is the word, and a great conqueror is required. The word a great conqueror to complete what it says about the subject Alexander. So we get to know all the information about the subject if we add these few words. In the previous example, the Tansen sang, we are getting complete information about the subject. We do not need any other information for making it have sense. In the second example, we require the word sad for it to give us information about the subject, the man. Okay. In the third example, we again require the information great conqueror for the subject Alexander to make sense. Otherwise, the sentence will not make sense. In the next example, children, the prize winners looked very happy. The prize winners are the subject, looked is the verb, and very happy is not the object. These are group of words which are basically helping us know about whom? The subject, the prize winners. Needs the word very happy to complete what it says about its subject, the prize winners. So what are these new words, children? Okay, an intransitive verb. So usually now we are talking only about intransitive verbs, the ones who don't have subject, the ones who don't have object, which need the help of some word or words to complete what it says about the subject is called a verb of incomplete prediction. Okay, so when we have this verb, which is intransitive verb, it does not have an object, but it has these group of words or word which are helping it to make sense, then this particular verb is called verb of incomplete prediction. It is incomplete without the help of these words. Okay, and what are these words called? These words which are helping this verb, the verb of incomplete prediction, these words are called complement. The meaning of prediction as used here is what is said about something, what is said about the subject. Okay, so the word or group of words which help a verb to complete what it says is known as its complement. So I'll give you in the example only, children. I'll make you explain. The man is the subject. Appears is the verb. Which type of verb? It is an intransitive verb and it is a verb of incomplete prediction. Why am I saying it is incomplete prediction? Suppose I remove sad, incomplete, right? So it is verb of incomplete prediction. Tansen sang, sang is an incomplete prediction verb? No, it is making complete sense. It is making complete prediction. Over here, this is incomplete prediction verb. Alexander was is an incomplete prediction verb. It requires the help of this complement. These group of words are called complement. This word is called complement. So these words assisting the verb of incomplete prediction are called complement. What kind of complement? Where is it placed? The complement is in the place of object, right? So it is objective complement. Suppose the complement would have been that side, it would be subjective complement. Okay. Very happy, objective complement. Okay, children. Let's go back. If such a complement helps the verb to complete what it says about its subject, it is known as subjective complement. And in case it helps us know about the object, it is known as objective complement. Okay, sorry for that confusion, children. It is giving information about the subject, so we are saying it is subjective complement. It is not according to its position, sorry, it is according to whom it is talking about. So over here it is talking about the subject, so it is the subjective complement. Okay, children, the meaning of complement as used here is a thing which when added completes or make up a whole. Okay, so I know this is quite stretched, but in a small way, if I have to make you all understand, you know the meaning of transitive verbs which are having object. There are verbs which do not have object, and sometimes they cannot make sense without the object. They need the help of a few verbs, right? Like I told you the example of Tansen sang, making complete sense. So it is intransitive verb but does not need any extra verb. Suppose the verb intransitive verb is not making sense, it needs the help of a few verbs, then it is a verb of incomplete prediction, and the words which are going to help it are the complement, subjective complement, because they are going to tell something about the subject. Now we'll come back to the transitive verbs, children, because sometimes it is not only intransitive verbs which are verbs of incomplete prediction. Sometimes transitive verbs having an object can also be verbs of incomplete prediction. I will show you. A transitive verb may also be a verb of incomplete prediction. That is, it may also need a complement. Okay, sometimes you have a subject in a sentence. You have a verb. You have an object. Still it is not making sense. You require the help of some words. What are these words, children? Complement. And when you add these words, it is making complete sense. So that kind of transitive verb. What is a transitive verb? Having an object. Still not making sense. Needs the help of a complement. Okay. So there are such examples also. The boys made Salim the captain of the team. The boys, subject, made, verb, Salim, object. Now what do we require? The captain of the team. Okay, the boys made Salim. We have the subject, we have the verb, we have the object, but not making complete sense. What do we require? We require this complement. Okay, and this complement, just tell me, children, I'm asking you the question. The captain of the team is telling about whom? Is it telling about the boys, the subject, or the captain of the team is telling about the object Salim? It is telling about, you are right, Salim. It is telling about the object. So then it is called an objective complement. Okay, in the previous example, children, this was a subjective complement. Why? Because it was telling about, I'll just show you, children. It was a great conqueror. Okay, it was telling about the subject. So it is a subjective complement. Over here, they are telling about Salim. It is not telling about the subject. It is telling about the object. So this is an objective complement. It is a very easy topic, children. You need to see again and again my video and you will be thorough with this topic. Okay, so verbs. These are verbs. Two types of verbs, transitive and intransitive. Transitive is the one having an object. Intransitive, no object. And both transitive and transitive make sense sometimes with the help of complements. What are complements? Added words, group of words. And sometimes these group of words, they are telling about the object. Sometimes they are telling about the subject. So there are two types of complements, subjective and objective. Okay, children? Let's see this example. The explanation, the boys made what? Salim. Salim refers to somebody different from the subject, boys. This is not important, children. Otherwise, you will get confused. Okay, as I have explained, Mm, The words, the captain of the team, are needed to tell us what the boys made Salim. The words complete the action the word made denotes. Okay, so you have just concentrate on my words so that you will be able to understand the topic better. Okay, so the captain of the team is the complement of the verb made. Since it helps the verb to complete what it says about the object, it is an objective complement. Okay children, let's see this one more example. The news made him unhappy. The news is the subject, made is the verb, him is the object and unhappy is the complement. Unhappy is who? The news is the unhappy person or the him? Him is unhappy, so it is an objective complement. Secondly, him refers to something different from news, the subject, so him is the object. But the word unhappy is needed to tell us how the word made affected its object. The sentence would not make sense without the word unhappy. I hope children you understood. Should I explain this example again children? Okay, very easy example. What is the subject? News. What is the verb? Made. Object, him. Okay, how do we find the object children? Where is the action passing? The action of made is passing to him. Okay, and made him, this, the news made him. Suppose this much was the sentence. Is it complete children? No, it is incomplete. That means this word, this verb is verb of incomplete prediction because it is not making sense. It requires the help of complements. What is a complement? A few added verbs, okay? And this complement unhappy has been added. But what is this complement helping? Is it helping us know about the subject or the object? But the word unhappy is needed to tell us about how the verb had affected. Okay, the sentence would not make complete sense without it. The news made him what? So unhappy is a complement of the verb. Since it tells us something more about the object, which is the object? Him. The verb was affected, it is an objective complement. Okay, so I hope this is quite clear children. Let's conclude with this much. A transitive verb which needs the help of some words or words to complete what it says about its object is called a verb of incomplete prediction. The word or group of words which help a transitive verb complete what it talks about, what it says about its object is known as objective complement. Okay children? So children, now let's go through the summary of the chapter, the important topics, the important points. Some transitive and intransitive verbs require a word or words, a complement to help them complete what they say. So such verbs, transitive or intransitive, are known as verbs of incomplete prediction. So children, the verbs which are whether having object or not having object, whether transitive or intransitive, requiring assistance of complements, complement, are known as verbs of incomplete prediction. What kind of words are used? There are some common verbs children. Be, become, seem, appear and those. These are the common verbs which are most commonly used in incomplete prediction. Okay, so these are some common verbs children which might help you in determining the verbs of incomplete prediction. If the complement tells us something about the subject, it is known as subjective complement. And where are the subjective complements found? Since an intransitive verb does not have an object, it is usually having the it is always having a subjective complement because intransitive verb does not have an object. If the complement tells us something about the object, it is known as objective complement. Only transitive verb have objective complements because intransitive verb don't have an object. Do not confuse. These are some warnings children you need to keep in mind so that you find the topic very easy. Do not confuse transitive verb of incomplete prediction with a transitive verb of two objects. Okay, now for example children, we studied about verbs which have two objects, direct and indirect object, which is answered by the question what and whom. Sometimes we have two objects. We get confused with verbs of incomplete prediction because verbs of incomplete prediction have complements, have extra words. Okay, have some extra words added. So let's see how we get confused children. The first example, mother made me a sandwich. In this case children, mother is the subject, made is the verb. Made what? Sandwich. This made what? What is answering the direct object. Made whom? Me. Me is the indirect object. Are me and sandwich two different things or the same thing? Two different things, right children? So both of them are two different things. That's why both are objects. So there are two objects. So that means this is a transitive verb having two objects. Second example, children. The king made him a minister. The king is the subject. Made is the verb. Made whom? Him. Made him. Him is the object. Made him what? A minister. So for a first glance, you will think there are two objects, him and minister. Right, children? Made him, and it is answering the question whom and what. But children, you have to see carefully. You have to see carefully. I'll show you the other side of the explanation. King is the subject. Made is the verb, children. Made whom? Him. Him is the object. Okay. But suppose I cover this up. The king made him. Not making complete sense. The verb made is not is a verb of incomplete prediction. But when I add this complement, a minister, then this complement helps the sentence having sense. Okay, so that means this is an objective complement because it is adding meaning to the object. Okay, children. The king made whom a minister? Him. Does the word have any other object? At first sight you will think yes, minister is an object. But if you look closely at the sentence, you will find that it really talks about only two different things. King and him, because him and minister is one and the same thing, children. You cannot separate them. Over there, me and sandwich in the first example were two different things. Here, him and minister is one and the same thing. Okay. However, the words minister are needed to complete what the verb made says about the object him. The king made him. Right, children? So we require minister as an objective complement. Remember that an objective complement tells us something about the object itself. It does not refer to something or somebody different from the object. A direct and indirect object, on the other hand, refer to two separate things or separate person, like me and sandwich. It does not describe the other. Me and sandwich are two different things, and him and minister are one and the same thing. Right, children? So I hope you understood the exercise, children, the chapter, children. I want you all to go through it again, go through my video again, because I want you all to understand each and every topic very, very elaborately and nicely. Go through the exercises on your own. It is very simple. If you don't understand, go through my PDF. If you still don't understand, take my assistance. Okay, children? Thank you so much. Have a nice day.